All right, so interest rates are up and the market's been crazy all spring. It's a really bad time to buy, right? Well, maybe not. Stick around, we're gonna get into that today. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your realtor Nick Isgro with eXp Realty here in Central Maine. Now, as I just said at the beginning, I know it's been crazy out there, okay? The interest rates are going up. It's been a crazy spring market. But what's happening now? Does that necessarily mean that it's a bad time to buy? Or perhaps could this be a great time to buy? Well, it's really going to depend on you and your situation. We're going to get into that and cover some situations of why it could be a great time actually to buy right now. Now, before I do that, I want to welcome you here to the channel. If you've never been here before, we cover all things real estate here in the state of Maine, particularly in the Central Maine market. If that's of interest to you, adds value to your process in the buying and selling of homes, or if you just like real estate here in the state of Maine, do me a favor. Go ahead and give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, knock that little alarm bell, and you'll be notified every time we put out new content. All of the things I'm saying here is going to be fairly some general principles, and they are going to be based, though, again, on my current market. I work in Central Maine. I work all over the state, but by and large, the Central Maine area is my primary market, and it is where I am most accustomed to knowing all of the data and all of the things that are going on. So that means that not every scenario I say on this video is going to necessarily apply to you, although I would note that the information is fairly generic in this particular video because these are some general concepts that you're going to want to think about when you go into the marketplace right now. All right, so interest rates are definitely higher, but what does that mean for what's going on in the market? Well, to be honest with you, it does mean that we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in the market. Now, some of that could be due also to things like inflation, which we will touch on later in this video, but it has opened the door to getting probably a better deal on some of the homes that you're looking at. Just 1 to 2 months ago, almost anything that was in the 200,000s range, for example, 1 to 2 days on the market, maybe an open house in the mix, and it was, $30, $40, $50,000 over asking price if you even want to be competitive, and most likely you were waiving inspections. That's not really still the case. Now, prices are still definitely strong, and I can't really say that enough because a lot of people are going to hear what I'm saying and be like, great, well, the prices are coming down. No, they're really not. What's happening is that the price increases are starting to stabilize, and we've talked about this for months here. It was a prediction that we talked about, and I think we're going to be heading right into it, which is instead of that 10, 12, 14% appreciation on the homes over time, it's going to be more traditional appreciation, 2, 3%, definitely some single-digit appreciation on the homes. So as the market is starting to stabilize and as rates are going up, consumers are becoming a little bit pickier, and that means that homes that were going in 1 to 2 days are more often than not now starting to stay on the market for a little bit longer than that. And that means that sellers are going to start to get a little bit more willing to negotiate. It's going to be very interesting to see how we closed out the month of June when we get to the end of this week. Those numbers are going to be average. July is going to be even more interesting to watch. And July and August does tend to slow down a little bit anyway, but the numbers there are going to probably be indicative of where we head towards the fall. So pay attention when we get there. But for now, just looking at where we are right now, if you're a buyer, think about it. A few months ago, you were offering, $30,000, $40,000 over asking price. A lot of times you weren't even getting the contract. That's kind of done for the most part. There's a lot less of that going on. With interest rates being higher, does that mean the house is cheaper? No. Over the life of the loan, you're probably going to pay a lot of that anyway. It's just a matter of, instead of front loading it on the higher loan, way over asking price with the lower interest rate, now you're going to be able to negotiate with more sellers who are still trying to move their homes in the market. They're still getting a great advantageous price, but the additional cost is simply going to be made up on the back end with the interest. Important to note, by the way, that we are not even hitting the average rate for the last 10 to 15 years here. So we're not even like an insane interest rate territory. We're kind of getting back to what would be considered great rates, not that many years ago. We're just not at zero rates anymore. Another thing to consider of whether you're thinking about buying now or buying later, same thing that we told everybody last year. The home prices, they are slowing down as far as how fast they're going up, but they're not stopping from increasing. The appreciation is going to continue to happen over the next year, so the house that you want to buy now is likely to be a lot more expensive a year from now or 2 years from now than it is right now. So by locking in right now, you're going to get that home at the lower price and take advantage of the continued appreciation that we're going to see over the coming years. If you bought a home last year, it's already worth more than it was a year ago. If you buy a house now, it's very likely and most likely it's going to be worth more a year from now than it is today. So getting in now is always going to be kind of the optimum strategy, as long as the payments make sense and everything else in your life makes sense, to lock into the payment and get that house that you're looking for. There's a footnote here that I want to follow up with that for the buyers, is that, if you buy right now in the current interest rate environment, remember, rates do not stay high forever. And so as your home continues to appreciate, come next year or the year after, when the rates drop back down, you're gonna have a lot more cooked in appreciation than you think, because those values are gonna go right back up, because so far there's just a massive demand for homes in this country. We have millions and millions of people who are looking for homes. We have more people who are going to continue to enter the market over the next couple of years. And we have people who are coming here from overseas on a regular basis. Here in the state of Maine, what do we read in the paper all the time? Housing crisis, housing shortage. It's all about how we don't have enough housing. And a lot of times, let's face it, people at the end of the day, they want to own their own home. So buying a home right now is going to protect you in the future by getting it now at the lower cost and taking advantage of all that appreciation that's going to happen over the next couple of years. Now, the last point I want to touch on here of why it might still be a great time for you to buy is that historically, housing has always outperformed inflation. And when we look at inflation now, guys, it's crazy, right? We know that we've had probably like 10% inflation at least, if the numbers they're saying are accurate, which they're probably not. I think if you look at your grocery bill, look at your heating costs right now, look at the cost of gasoline, look at the cost of basically everything you touch, it's going up. If you were to purchase a home with the fact that there's such a housing shortage and with the fact that there's inflation, rent has not been spared this at all. In fact, rents have been skyrocketing. It's something we read in the news on a regular basis here in Maine, particularly in the southern portions of the state, but it's definitely made its way into the greater Waterville area, and there's really no end in sight on that. So over the next couple of years, yeah, the cost of your food likely to go up, cost of your gas likely to go up, cost of your taxes likely to go up. What's not gonna go up? Your fixed rate mortgage payment. What will go up is your rent payment. That's almost a guarantee. Rents are going to continue to increase and become more and more unaffordable for a lot of people that could be locking in now to a fixed rate mortgage and keep that mortgage rate flat, so at least no matter what's going on, that housing cost for you is going to be a fixed payment. It's not going to increase, and at the end of the day, your investment is far going to outperform any inflation that's happening right now. So that's it, guys. Just a quick video today. Just wanted to throw a few things out there. I'm getting asked by a lot of people, is it still a good time to buy? Should I buy now? What's going on in the market? And the answer is always really independent to your specific situation. If, by the way, you ever want to chat about that, I'm always available, whether you're in my market or not. Happy to connect with you and discuss whatever's going on in your life so we can decide if it is a good time for you to buy or not. Which, if you are in the market right now, maybe you are out buying, maybe you're taking a break from buying, whatever your experience is, drop a comment below. Would love to hear from you there. Would love to get your thoughts, comments, and engage with you in that aspect. Again, guys, my name is Nick Isgro. I'm with eXp Realty here in Central Maine. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for sticking around to the end of this video, but until the next drop, see you next time.